You are a nice person, but your niceness is pushing your avoidant partner away. Well, in this video, I'm going to tell you what's better than being nice. So, before we get started, quick spoiler alert. If you have not seen Wicked Part 1 or Wicked for Good, this video does contain spoilers for both of those films. So if you haven't seen those films and you'd like to, then please pause this video, save it for later, go watch the films and come back. Final warning. So let's get started. Now, if you're new to attachment theory, if you're new to attachment styles, that's a big discussion on this channel. But these are the 4 main attachment styles. Here's a quick rundown. You can pause this video and familiarize yourself with attachment styles. But attachment theory governs that there are 4 main attachment styles. These are the 4 main attachment styles, and we each have an attachment style. Each of us falls somewhere on this spectrum. There's only one secure attachment style. The rest of them are insecure. Now, in this video, I'm going to be talking mostly about the dismissive avoidant and why you might be pushing them away. Perhaps you are an anxious preoccupied. And again, you're a very nice person. But that niceness is pushing your avoidant partner away and creating distance in your relationship. And I'm going to talk about why in this video. So if you've seen the Wicked films, okay, I see a lot of discussion online right now at the making of this video. There's so much discussion online about the characters. There's a lot of moral ambiguity throughout this film. So I don't think any character is necessarily all good or all evil. I can name maybe 2 characters that are just completely evil, that are just no good. But the rest of them, there's a lot of moral ambiguity going on in the relationship dynamics, in the character development. Some of the characters have good and bad qualities, right? And I think that's the point of the film, is to get the point across that people aren't necessarily good or evil. We have a tendency to put people in a box. Either they're good or they're evil. But that's not the case with human nature, with the complexity of human characteristics and relationship dynamics. Nobody is necessarily good or evil. There's so many complexities in human nature and in relationship dynamics. So what I'm seeing is these 2 characters, okay, Prince Fiero and Boq. I'm seeing a lot of discussion about these 2 characters and the contrast in their personalities. I am seeing that, and I can see why people are saying this, that Prince Fiero is a good person and Boq is a nice person. And there's a difference between the 2. So in Wicked Part 1, we see Boq. He has this crush on Glinda. And I can tell Boq has an anxious personality, right? He's anxious towards Glinda. He has feelings for her, and Glinda tells him, go ask Nessa out to the dance, Nessa Rose. And Boq pretty much does whatever Glinda says in order to win Glinda's heart, in order to make Glinda happy. Pretty much does anything she says. And this is why he engages with Nessa Rose, because he thinks by doing that, because Glinda requested it, that maybe he'll win Glinda's heart. And Boq ends up unhappy in that relationship. His heart isn't fully in it. Boq is a nice person. So what's the difference between a nice person and a good person? Let's talk about Prince Fiero. And quite honestly, this is my favorite character in the films, is Prince Fiero. This man he's not perfect, okay? Nobody's perfect. But Prince Fiero is a good person. He is grounded in integrity. For the most part, he's grounded in integrity. He has a direction of what he wants in life. And he seems to have healthy boundaries for himself, okay? I can see him drawing healthy boundaries in his relationship with Glinda. Again, he's made a lot of mistakes throughout the films. He's not perfect. Nobody is. And actually, I find some charm in that. Okay, I don't expect him to be perfect. I don't want to look up to someone who's perfect because it's unrealistic. So the fact that Prince Fiero made some mistakes in his relationships throughout the films, I actually find some charm in that, because I still see that he's trying, and he's trying to stay grounded in his character and his personal values and his morals. And I find a lot of integrity in that. This is why this is my favorite character in the films. So Boq is a nice person. Fiero is a good person. What is the difference between a nice person and a good person? Well, first of all, I don't think there's anything wrong with being nice. In fact, we should be nice, okay? We should be nice to other people. We should be nice to ourselves. We should be nice to our partners, to our friends, to our family, okay? I don't think there's anything wrong with being nice. Now, here's where the problem is. When that niceness is coming from a place of insecurity, then that is when niceness becomes a problem. That is when niceness becomes manipulative. That is when niceness causes issues in relationships, and it builds pressure and resentment, and that's how relationships fall apart. And I think this is what happened with Boq's character in the Wicked films. He was trying to be nice to Glinda by asking Nessa Rose out to the dance, and then he was trying to be nice to Nessa Rose by not sharing his true feelings. He was trying to be nice. He didn't say exactly what was on his mind, what he was actually feeling. And it built up a lot of resentment in his relationship with Nessa Rose. And that, of course, that relationship fell apart. Why? Because Boq's niceness he was operating from a place of insecurity. His niceness was coming from his insecurities, from his lack of fulfillment within. Boq did not have the ability to create emotional safety within himself. He lacked healthy boundaries. And he had a way of looking for external validation. He wanted external validation from Glinda. He wanted external validation from Nessa Rose. He wanted external validation from Nessa Rose's father. I remember in a scene in Wicked Part 1 when he met Nessa Rose's father, and Nessa Rose's father, the governor of Munchkinland, told Boq, I hope you can, I want you to take care of my daughter. And Boq had this look on his face that he was kind of hesitant, like yeah, his heart wasn't fully in the relationship with Nessa Rose, but he wanted to be nice to Nessa Rose's father, the governor, so he kind of just reluctantly agreed that he would take care of Nessa Rose. Again, Boq was trying to please everyone. Boq's problem was he wasn't taking care of himself. Okay, his niceness was operating from insecurity. He wasn't able to take care of himself. So Boq's sense of fulfillment, his sense of confidence, his happiness, his needs, he didn't take them seriously. He didn't take his own needs seriously. He didn't take his own happiness seriously. He tried to seek happiness and fulfillment elsewhere, whether it be from Glinda or Nessa Rose or the governor. He wasn't able to create that sense of happiness and fulfillment within himself. He was seeking it elsewhere. And that right there is an example of niceness operating from insecurity. That is when niceness is a problem. So here's what I say. Here's what I'm telling you. Yes, be nice. There's nothing wrong with it. You should be nice. Be nice to people. Be nice to your friends. Be nice in your relationships. But do it from a place of security. Do it from a place of fulfillment, self-fulfillment, and confidence. Then you can be nice. And that is what makes you a good person. Not just a nice person, but a good person. And this brings me back to Prince Fiero. Prince Fiero was more of a good person, okay? Because he knew what he wanted in life. Okay, he had a sense of self-fulfillment. He was able to satisfy his own needs. He was able to find confidence and fulfillment from within. He didn't need external validation. He didn't need to seek it elsewhere, whether it be from Glinda or any other characters in the film. He was able to create happiness and fulfillment and center himself in his own inner confidence that he created for himself. And that's what makes him a good person, because he was nice too. Okay, look, Prince Fiero was nice. He was nice to Glinda. He was nice to the characters in the film. But he did it. The difference between him and Boq is both of these characters are nice, okay? The difference is Boq's niceness was coming from a place of insecurity. Prince Fiero's niceness was coming from a place of security. And that's what makes Prince Fiero not just a nice person, but a good person. Whereas Boq was just a nice person. So when you are a nice person who is operating from a place of insecurity, this scares people away. This scares dismissive avoidance away, because it creates pressure, because you're operating from a place of insecurity. Okay. And when you are operating from a place of insecurity, people pick up on that. Your partner, your friends, they feel that insecurity, and it makes them feel insecure, and it creates tension, and it builds resentment in the relationship, because Boq's issue was his niceness coming from a place of insecurity, is that he created unspoken expectations in his relationships with Glinda, with Nessa Rose, with the governor, with whomever. He created unspoken expectations through his niceness. He believed that if he was nice enough, and if he pleased everybody enough, then all of that niceness and all of that pleasing should be returned to him, so that he could feel good about himself, so that he could feel a sense of fulfillment from all of that niceness being returned to him. But we can't put that kind of expectation on people. We can't put those expectations on people, because oftentimes those expectations are unrealistic. And when our friends, when our partner fail to meet those expectations, it creates resentment in our relationships. And I think that's eventually what happened to Boq, is he built up so much resentment in his relationship with Nessa Rose. And then when he finally turned into the Tin Can Man, all of that resentment, all of that pressure, he just wanted to let it out, and he wanted to take it out on somebody. And he wanted to take it out on Elphaba, the Wicked Witch of the West. It was years of resentment building up, and he finally let it out. So that's what I'm getting at, is be nice. Yes, be nice. Do it from a place of security. Do it from a place of confidence. And that's what makes you a good person, like Prince Fiero. Again, not perfect. Okay, Prince Fiero made a lot of mistakes. He has his own issues that I can talk about in a separate video. But I can say that Prince Fiero was not just a nice person, but a good person, because he was operating from a place of security and confidence and emotional safety that he was able to create for himself. He didn't need external validation. He didn't need to be nice to get something in return. He didn't need to be nice to other people to get a sense of fulfillment from them. No, he was able to create that for himself. He was grounded and confident in his own inner self-fulfillment. And when he was nice to people, it was from a place of security. And that's what makes him a good person. So that is what's better than being a nice person, is being a good person. So if you find again, maybe you are an anxious preoccupied. I know a lot of you are. There's no judgment here at all. But yes, maybe you're an anxious preoccupied, and you're nice. You're nice in your relationships. You're nice to your avoidant partner. But that's what I wanted to say, is what's better than being nice? Well, being good. Being a good person. Yes, be nice. Do it from a place of security and confidence that you can create for yourself. And that is what makes you a good person. And that is very attractive. And people are very drawn into that, including dismissive avoidance. So if this was helpful, please like and subscribe. Please share your thoughts and your stories in the comments. I love reading everybody's stories. Have you seen the Wicked films? What do you think about these characters, Boq and Prince Fiero, the differences between being nice and being good? I look forward to the discussion. You all take care, and I'll see you in the next video.